What's up, everyone? Mancomic 300 here, and welcome to the first episode of the solo cast. Really excited to get this thing started. First things first, it's been a while, right? A long while since I even uploaded a video pertaining to Mancomic 300, like a comic book video, and also to an update for the podcast, because I believe episode 0 was uploaded a little too long ago. But yeah, so first things first, we're going to be talking about a few things coming up in comic books, whether it be books or movies. But I did just see the trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine, and I'm really excited the more I see more of that stuff. If they do release like another trailer after this, I probably won't watch it. More so now, as I gotten older, when it comes to movies, I've come to stick to either at least one trailer, or maybe two, maybe a TV spot here and there. But back when I was like 14 or 15, man, did I have that shit bad. I was watching trailers and TV spots. Probably the reason why I make so many like edits on TikTok and shit like that. I'll probably leave that in my description too if you guys want to check out some of my edits that I do on there. But yeah, so Deadpool and Wolverine. So from the trailer, of course, we got Wade going through working with the TBA, and we got more insight on this version of Wolverine. So from what I can tell from the trailer, this isn't going to be the old Logan Wolverine. This will probably be because as I'm thinking about it, I'm not really too versed on X-Men comics, but since '97, this might more so be like a kind of like '90s kind of run on X-Men. They're kind of doing with the MCU going forward, and I say that just due to the success of '97 has been doing good. I've heard. I'm gonna wait until season one's over and then watch it all from there. But matter of fact, let me look that up. X-Men '97 episode list. So there's 7 episodes out right now. So I'm guessing they're gonna do a 10 episode season. But yeah, I really do feel like that might be the version of Wolverine we get with like a Days of Future Past, because in the trailer it's pretty much set that Wade doesn't know how to save the world. This version of Wolverine does, because he's an X-Men. This is the kind of stuff that they do. But we see that in whatever universe that this version of Wolverine is in, it's probably like a Days of Future Past moment where all the X-Men are dead. One character that I did notice in the trailer was Charles Xavier's sister, and I believe she was introduced during one of who was that guy? Scott, man. But no, Cassandra Nova is the name of Charles Xavier's sister. When was she? Yeah, Grant Morrison, Frank Quietly. During a run on X Men, I believe it was. What was that? New X Men. Yeah. So we had New X Men, things like that, which I actually been meaning to get back into reading. Because I think I have the Marvel Unlimited app, and I think some of his stuff is on there. But yeah, so Charles Xavier's sister, Cassandra Nova's in the movie. The blood looks amazing. This is really gonna be, yeah. It keeps saying like movie not yet rated, but it's gonna be an R-rated movie. I mean, we can already pretty much tell from that. Really, man, because now I'm more so interested in the movie a lot more that Cassandra Nova is in it, because I really want to know what's gonna be like her big plan. But I'm actually gonna refrain from like looking into it more, because honestly with this movie I really want to be like pleasantly surprised. No telling with the cameos either. But yeah, like that's a movie that I'm pretty stoked on. But for the comic book side, now Ghost Machine, I am really excited for once this once this ball starts to roll, because one, a huge fan of what was that, Geiger, we can call it Geiger. But yeah, Geiger was amazing. Already read Junkyard Joe. I read a little bit of their what did they have? Sure. They had that one book that was kind of like a introduction. What was it? It's kind of like an introduction to the characters in the world, pretty much. So yeah, the Ghost Machine one shot. This was also very good. So I think there was like a list of stuff. It is a connected universe, but it's, I guess you could say, a little too early for to have like a set timeline for it. So it's best to, what I read on Reddit, it was best to read them by publication date. Let's actually see if we can look that up. Just for you guys too, because honestly, Ghost Machine, I really do believe like this might be like the next big thing, in my opinion. Right? Maybe because I am a huge Jeff Johns fan and the artist that he has and the other people. But before we even go through that, we're gonna get this reading order up, and then I'm gonna go through a list of everyone who's involved with Ghost Machine 2, just so you guys have a better picture. So Ghost Machine reading order. Because I think the next, not the next issue, but I guess you can say the new ongoing series for Geiger starts in May, I believe. So we're gonna open up Reddit r/comics. Okay, so again, like I said, you can read them just in publication order. They're not that deep enough into the universe for it to be confusing yet. Now, a user actually did put up a chronological list from what's come out so far, and then by release. So we'll go by the timeline. So it'd go Junkyard Dog, Blizzard Phenomenology. So I'm guessing from the one-shot comic, I'd read that. Geiger Ground Zero, Geiger 80-page special. And yeah, I do believe I read the 80-page special, and I did read both issues of Ground Zero. But of course, I will reread them when it comes time for May, which isn't that far away. By the time I'm recording this, it's already the 22nd, so who knows. But yeah, so right now we're going to go on their website, and we're going to go through all the members of Ghost Machine real quick for you guys. So, and for our audio listeners, you guys are going to hear it, but for our visual ones, I will put up some images of their website and, of course, of their creators. So, let's go through our list of our creators. So, we have Jason Fabak, and again, forgive me for any mispronunciations, any butcherings, but yeah, so we got Jason Fabak. First book I read him in was actually a pretty recent book. I think he did the Three Jokers with Johns, actually. Three Jokers. Which for Three Jokers, like, I was, like, disappointed in, honestly, in the printing. Like, I was expecting, like, the magazine kind of printing for the Black Label books, but, hey, Black Label's kind of... I just figure it's mostly, like, Batverse stuff, to tell you the truth, with a lot of that. We also have Gary Frank. Now, Gary Frank. Now, the Mac, if you... trying to think. Because real early, like very early in this channel's kind of like starting, I was obsessed. Because like when I started reading comic books, I was like telling myself, okay, I want to read Marvel and DC. I want to read the both of them. And I think around that time, I think Avengers No Surrender was coming out. But I don't know what it was, but DC got me because when I found out about the one, it was the DC Rebirth. I think Jeff Johns' video he did on the DC YouTube channel pretty much sold me already. And second, all the Watchmen stuff, I was like a sucker for that stuff. The Flash button crossover. I remember being at a comic book shop in, I think it was Kissimmee, Florida. And it was my last day there, and I was leaving, and I went to a comic book shop, instantly had to pick up the issue of the button. It had released while I was over there, so I was like, oh, got an airplane ride. But continuing on, we got Brian Hitch. Now, Brian Hitch is like, Brian Hitch is up there, because Brian Hitch did the Ultimates. Brian Hitch, he did the Ultimates. He's also doing Red Coat. So yeah, so we have the Authority, Avengers Assembled, the Ultimate, Hawkman, Superman, The Last Days of Lex Luthor, which came out in 2023, July 25th, 2023. Might actually have to read this. This was written by Mark Wade. What else we got? But yeah, Ultimates 2 did some stuff for the Tales of the Dark Multiverse, the Batman's Grave. So yeah, Brian Hitch is like no stranger to this industry. Jeff Johns, of course. We all know Jeff Johns is. We have Lamont Maggie. Maggie? Nah, it's not Maggie. It's Machi. Or again, sorry for the butchering. But yeah, we also have Francis Manapul. Now, of course, Francis Manapul. See, a lot of his stuff was kind of like there's a period of time when it comes to how when I read comic books that I like to kind of remember. And like I say my dark ages reading comic books. And the reason why I say dark is not because it was bad. I just view it as dark as kind of not having information and stuff. So I just have like a random book and just read it. But yeah, Francis Manapul, I actually do remember some of his Flash stuff. I think this was his New 52 Flash stuff. Yep. The Flash Forward. So I do remember his art from there. And of course, a lot of the Flash stuff that he did, because it's a lot of Flash. Moving on, we have Brad Meltzer. So, Brad Meltzer, his, see, yeah. So, Brad Meltzer, I think, did he do Identity Crisis? Yeah, he did do Identity Crisis. Yeah, I still have to read this, though. I actually might, put this in my Kindle cart. 292 pages, yeah. I can finish that in a night. But yeah, Brad Meltzer. Now, in terms of what he's written, he mainly, so he's an American novelist and nonfiction writer. The books he has is The Escape Artist, The Lightning Rod, The Book of Fate, The President's Shadows, The Tenth Justice, The Fifth Assassination. You see, all his like non-comic book stuff actually, like I can actually dig with some of these. Now, The Fifth Assassination and The President's Shadow, that actually might be something I might check out. Also, a lot of children's books as well. I Am Mr. Rogers, The Nazi Conspiracy. Well, that's not a children's book, but moving on. Ivan Reis, Peter. This is going to be one. This is Danish last name. Schneberg. Schneberg. I know that's not right at all. Apologies. Peter Tomasi. Of course, I know all about Peter Tomasi. I need to check out his Super Sons run. I've heard nothing but good things. His Super Sons, and I think yeah, he did have a Superman run actually. Because honestly, though, Superman's been a character for years. I've always had this thing, and because growing up, I've always been a big Batman fan. Batman, and especially in 2016 when that trailer for not everybody's favorite comic book movie, and I know I might get a lot of we got another one of these, but look, I don't care what anybody says. I love Batman versus Superman. I love it because honestly, it's a weird and different take. And me personally, I read a lot of comic books, so like the movies will like never really have like I guess you can say someone's perfect Batman. There's like so many different interpretations of the character. Now, I like Batman versus Superman. I love it a lot, but this isn't a Batman v Superman video. Right, I'm not gonna have that conversation on this podcast. Maybe later, but yeah, Peter J. Tomasi. Need to check out Superman, his Super Sons, and his Superman run as well. We have Maitel Zuch. So I actually see now this is a new name. Now there are a few names on this list that I do not know, and yeah. So Lamont, Peter, and Maitel. These are three new names pretty much looking through the creators, and I will actually be doing further research on them and some of the stuff they wrote because to tell you the truth, Ghost Machine might actually be, I guess you could say, like the new thing I actually have like a pull list for because when it comes to like man trying to keep up with like Marvel and DC stuff, like no, been reading a lot more manga. But again, this isn't a conversation about comics versus manga. You know, East versus West thing. But yeah, so those are the creators for Ghost Machine. Now we're gonna move on real quick. Now, some of the books that they have out, we have Geiger Course, Junkyard Joe, Redcoat. I'm gonna go through a little brief description of the characters. So pretty much, the series Geiger is set, and this is all being read directly from the Ghost Machine website. I will also leave a link in the description if you guys want to check out this website yourself. But Geiger is set 25 years in the future. After the mysterious unknown war, husband and father Tariq Geiger has lost his immunity in the aftermath of the nuclear war that took his family from him. Now capable of absorbing radiation but struggling to contain it, Geiger is known as the Glowing Man. He is the last person you want to cross paths with, or if you have no one else to turn for help, maybe he's the first. Second, Junkyard Joe. In 1972, during the Vietnam War, a young soldier and cartoonist to be named Maury Muddy Davis encountered an unexplainable, deadly but loyal mechanical soldier. Convinced by the army that he saw wasn't real, Muddy created a popular Sunday strip called Junkyard Joe. Decades later, Muddy comes face to face with his old robotic friend and those looking to turn Joe back into a weapon of war. Now, go read Junkyard Joe. That's all I'm gonna say about that, because Junkyard Joe was amazing. Now we have Redcoat. Reluctantly fighting for Britain during the American Revolution, Simon Pure stumbles upon the Founding Fathers' secret mystical organization and inadvertently gains the power of immortality. Jaded by humanity over the decade, Simon becomes a cheeky mercenary looking for a hot meal to make some easy money while pursued by an endless list of deadly enemies, ex-lovers, and bill collectors. Now, Redcoat was also one thing I want to check out because, again, Brian Hitch, like I am, like a huge fan of Brian Hitch. Like back before I even knew it was like a comic book store or things like that, I remember seeing a lot of his artwork. Okay. So, let's go back to, because I clicked on merchandise and it has me on like a lot of stuff you can buy, hoodies, pins, mugs, which I actually might. So let's just go over to the titles, and then I'm gonna. All right, back on titles. We have Rook Exodus, which this is one by Jason Fabry. I'm actually excited for it because again, his artwork is amazing as well.
I am here to investigate the theft of a blue SUX.
We also have Hyde Street, which is more so like their horror ones, and then we have the Rockefellers, which is like their space science fiction family one.
Do you have
But now let's go over. Let's try to find some of the release.
To be honest, I did some work on one of those cars recently.
For some of these, because I know I need to get busy on
looking for.
Do I have your permission to search the shop?
Because I do plan on giving you guys my thoughts on
like.
several further
podcasts
without
being harassed all the
damn time. You guys my
time?
reviews and my takes on these. So, and we're loading.
I can come back with a warrant, but then I will not be knocking.
You think that's going to scare me?
Books.
This is Detroit, for God's sake. People try to threaten me nearly every day.
I do not try.
You know what? If you really think you'll find evidence of that SUX ever being here, then be my guest.
So, we got Geiger #1. That already came out, so I'll get caught up on that. It's only one issue. So April 3rd, Geiger issue #1 has came out. On May 8th, issue 2, and then June 12th, issue 3. So Geiger has already started. So let's go back and let's look at these other characters. So John, I don't know if Junkyard Joe is getting a new series. Nah. Yeah, so his was probably just a one and done kind of thing. Let's go for Redcoat. So the website doesn't have a tab for shop books, just buy merchandise. So I guess Redcoat stuff hasn't come out yet, but I will. I think they have like a mission statement video. Probably look back that at again. So Rook Exodus. Again, just accessories. Let's see. Rook Exodus issue 1 release. Issue 1. Okay. So, Rick Exodus is out too. April the 3rd. Gonna be reading a lot, boys.
See, I've told you,
Alright,
you'll
the
find Jack
Rockefellers.
off, because there ain't nothing to be found. This place is legit.
I need access to one of your lockers.
Image
I
Comics.
can't allow that. It's my workers' private possessions.
You said your shop has nothing to hide.
The locker you have in mind belongs to a boy named Scott. He works for me on and off. I have to admit, I had a
Doesn't really
tiny
seem
feeling he might have
release
something
date
to do
for
with your
Rockefellers.
case.
I'll keep you guys
I
posted.
will open his locker for you, but I won't be held
High
accountable for
Street,
what's inside.
Hornsby, and Halo. So yeah, Ghost
That's his
Machine
locker.
already has like
Go on.
a pretty
have
good
look.
mix of stuff for you guys to get into now. All right,
What do you reckon?
now for the next
your man?
topic. So, form of reading, right? So, when it comes to just not just comic
see,
books, but just
he
reading
hasn't
and pretty
turned up for
much
work for some
a lot of
time.
things nowadays,
This morning,
you know, you got
looking
digital
for him.
and you got
I knew
print.
he must be
And when it
around.
comes to comic books,
I've
for
overheard
me,
him
that
many
has been
times
like
talking about a
a
place where he does car
man.
jobs
That's
on the
kind of been
side.
like a tossy
Give me
turvy
the precise
situation there.
location.
Because like starting
I can't
off
tell
from
you
like
exactly
I
what
was
it
like
is.
reading comic
All I
books,
know
it was
is that it's
like
one of the
on a
garages near
computer.
the local storage
Just like
compartments.
on a computer. Whatever I could find on the websites that were free. I think DC had this like
You say
interactive
that. We fall
kind of
out a
like
lot
comic
because
book
he
where you
brings a lot
kind
of hot
of
stuff to the
chose your
shop,
own
and I'm
role
okay with it.
in a sense.
you let
You
him
can
come
you can
back.
either end this
It's hard
little
to make an honest living
interactive
these
comic
days.
on like a good
That's why
one
I
or a
understand
bad
his
one.
struggle.
I don't even remember what the name of that
Working here
was.
keeps
That
him
was
out of
like
trouble.
almost like,
And to be
like
frank,
13, maybe
it's
14
not
years
easy to
ago.
find such a good mechanic
But
either.
yeah, anything I could find free. When I got around middle
Tell me
school, you know,
why
hey,
you
look,
think he
there's a
is
few other
responsible.
websites I found out,
He's
but hey,
young,
that's neither
bright, and
here
wanting
nor
to rule the
there.
world.
But
I get it. But nearly
but
every
yeah, for the
month
most
he gets
part, like
himself
I
in
got
trouble.
print books here and there, but for the
Love
most
to make
part, digital.
assumptions.
When I
I'm not a
got like
cop,
more so towards
but
high
I've seen many
school
things in
and
my life
when I started
where
making
they're
videos for
stolen
this channel,
is
yeah, it
usually
was like
found.
strictly digital comics, strictly digital. That's how I did it for Marvel
That
Zombies.
is all
That's how I
fine.
started covering
Hey,
what was that? That was like
make
Dark
sure
Knight's
no
Metal
harm
back
comes
in the
his way.
day.
He might have
Man,
done
that
some
was a
foolish
while
things in
ago.
the past,
But
he's a good kid, and
now,
he deserves another
like as
chance.
I'm 21 now,
Court
I
of
have a
law will
job
be the judge
and
of
I
that.
can, you know, purchase more so physical and digital now. I must say I'm more so on the middle of it. Right on the middle. Because there are like some things where I'm like space wise, I'm like, okay, I can't really just like buy like 15 comics at once and things like that of physical books and just put them somewhere, you know what I mean? You just don't have the room for that at this point. We know more so with digital, like I remember having some subscriptions with Comixology, rest in peace. And one of the subscriptions I had, this was like really back in the day. Not really too back in the day, but it just feels like that. But when Absolute Carnage, not Absolute Carnage, when the King in Black was first coming out, man, that was just a wild run. And I remember always getting those updates like, ooh, new issue has been added to your library, just being excited because I'm like, oh man. And you know, around that time, this is like during COVID as well, so I can really just go out to my local comic book store. And so in terms of like buying, like going out and buying each new issue as it dropped, like, you know,
Yes,
that would have been fine
Scott.
too.
What did you do with the blue SUX
Excuse me for that. That would have been
6000 for
fine too.
school?
But I'm like just having
Why
digitally,
would I
just
have
being
anything
known,
to do
like
with
I'd be
that?
at work, you know, I get the
Doctor
alert and
found
boom, I'm
evidence
reading a
in
new
pen
issue on
shop.
lunch. You know what I
can't
mean?
possibly help
Versus
me.
like having
I don't want to cause any
you know,
more
the
trouble,
physical
especially
floppy
for
on me,
Ben.
having it in my bag, having like my lunch in my bag, and just it getting damaged. But that's
Admitting to
another
a crime is the
conversation
best course
about
of action
single
for any
issues that
young
I'll
offender.
probably have.
I
But
can't go to Juvie.
physical
Who's
books
gonna fix
though, if
this
it's like a
mess?
book that I
My
really,
duty is to
really,
serve
really
the
want,
public trust.
then I'll buy it, right?
Hi.
So the thing
Are you
is,
ready?
I no longer really buy
It was me,
floppies
Jack the
unless it's like
S.U.X.
if
But he
this is
didn't
like an
leave me any
older
choice.
floppy with like a cool cover,
Who is he?
then I'll get it,
I
you know,
can't tell
wrapped in
you.
plastic and
If he knew
everything
I
like
gave
that
him
in a
away,
sleeve.
he'd
But
take
in
revenge on
terms of
Ben.
like a new
Oh
issue
God!
dropping,
It must be those
anymore,
thugs. We're dead.
yeah, like I
No, he's
don't
gonna
do
save
that
us.
anymore. I usually
If
just
they
have
are
a
criminals,
subscription
then
up,
they are the
buy
ones
it
we must save.
digitally and do it like that. And usually the only thing I buy physical are collected editions. But yeah, room of course, like I don't really have like long boxes and stuff, and my basement flooded one time. And that really put a damn on my collection of books that I had, that my floppies that I had. Because like back in high school, I don't know what happened, but there was like a Dollar Tree by my house, and it was like selling like packs of comic books. like, $1 each a pack, and the pack had about 4 comics. I remember actually doing a video on that back in the day. I got lucky one day, and one of them was like a penny.
You did it!
Like a penny for, and I
I
bought
didn't
like,
think
what was
that
that?
through.
Yeah,
Maybe you
10
can
packs,
put an
10
end to this
cents.
after
Just
all.
got home, was just
I am
loaded,
missing
reading comic
vital
books all
information in
weekend.
order to resolve this
Simpler
case.
times.
I'll tell
But
you
yeah,
what
if
you
it's like
want.
a really
Please,
good book that I
help me
want, like I
fix this
just
screw-up.
actually got
Where is the car now?
the oversized deluxe
Man,
edition
I'm sure
for
it's
Deadly
still in their
Class
chop shop.
Volume
It's a
1.
warehouse on the northeast
Needed that.
side.
I
The
actually
entrance is
did finish
concealed,
reading
but
that,
I'm
and
sure you'll find
now
it.
what I'm doing is
I'm no
going
fighter,
back
but
and
if
just
there
like
is
reading
any
it from
other
the
way,
beginning.
I would like to help.
Honestly, sad that show got
Maybe you need some
canceled.
more intel.
Personally, I think it would do better as an animated series, and that's what I think they should do. Because also too, Sci-Fi
Rex,
Network
from the
would
local gang.
post
I only
a few
did petty
issues of the
jobs for him
motion comic
mostly,
book,
but this time
and they
he
would
made me
have
steal
like
that car.
the guys from the
He said he
show
wanted the
doing the
SUX
voices for the
6000
characters.
re-repairing
And
the
honestly, the
ends.
show did have
But I said
moments
it
of the
was too hot.
backstory. I think
He
Petra's
slashed me with his
backstory
knife.
about her and her family was animated. Like
Why
all the
are we
backstories were
hiding?
animated, and I was
You
looking at the
saw those
animations like,
thugs.
man, I would
They were
love to see
looking
this
for
as an
me.
animated
They
series.
realized I
I'm
tricked
thinking
them.
now more so.
They wanted the
I think it would
SUX
work as an
6000
animated
from Ben's
series.
shop.
But yeah, if
I
it's a
didn't
book that I
want to
really
get him into
want,
trouble, so I
going to
stole
buy
a
it as a
different one.
trade. I don't
doubt
really like
anyone would have
buying
given a
trades
shit, but
digitally. It
word on
depends
the
on what I'm
street
reading
is
on.
that it
If
belongs
it's
to
on
the
my
mayor's
phone, I'm
niece.
like, nah. On my tablet though, I have
Any
been trying
criminal
to
matters
read
should
more
be
on my
reported
tablet
to the
since like I
police.
bought it for that
I
purpose.
know. I just thought I could figure
One
this
of the
out by
things, like,
myself.
cause like my tablet has
Nothing
is
was
like its
right
own
from the
library of
start.
books that I haven't
I
really
shouldn't have
read
gone down this
digital,
road.
and that was like another thing with like digital books is like some of my devices that I own like have like
That is
books
all
on there
for
where I
now.
have like PDF
Proceeding
copies
to
of
the
the books that I
vehicle's
have, and I
estimated
just back them
location.
up and I put them on
You
there.
are calling for backup, aren't you?
Because so far
Negative.
on my
Fact
tablet,
calculation.
I have Strangers in Paradise, which is really good, really good. I think the first 2 volumes of Teen Titans by Jeff Johns. Really digging that. I got to get back into that. But yeah. But like I said before, I'm right on the middle when it comes to physical and digital books. Now there are some people who can only read it digitally. Some people who can only read it, in print. Me personally, it honestly depends. It all depends on the situation and what kind of book I'm looking for. If I'm trying to keep up with the current series that's currently being published, I'll just have subscription set up so I just get those issues added to my library whenever they release. If it's a book that I really want to sit down and read, or has like a nice artwork or like a nice deluxe hardcover, then I'll buy it in print. Like I think I have what's that hardcover? Monsters by Barry Winslow Smith. That's his name. I think his middle name is Winslow, but we'll check. So, Monster novel. Monsters. Let's see, let's check this. Of course, out of stock. It's a good thing I already got my copy. Yeah, Barry Winsor Smith. But yeah, I gotta actually reread that one because I got busy and I was like right in the middle of it. But like it's been so long since I've gotten that book and the length in between. But yeah. But that's gonna do it, guys, for episode 1 of the Man Comic 300 solo cast. I really hope you guys enjoy listening. So the way this is going to be uploaded is 2 ways. 1, on the Man Comic 300 YouTube channel, and 2, which I'm currently working on getting set up, is the actual Spotify account, because I really do want to get a lot of episodes uploaded on Spotify and on YouTube too. But for YouTube, expect to see like B footage of like some game that I'm playing, and for the audio listeners, you'll just get the audio and music as well. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.